Hi Raj, welcome to this debriefing session. First of all, many congratulations on scoring 700 with Q48 and V38. How are you
Yeah,
feeling
thanks
after
a lot,
hitting that
Arshit.
score?
Yeah, I'm just relieved I don't have to write the GMAT again.
So it didn't happen on the first attempt itself, right? You got there
Mm.
on your second attempt. So let's start from the very beginning. That how did you start off your GMAT preparation? When did you start off with your GMAT preparation?
Yeah, I think Jan 2019, I joined like a in classroom GMAT coaching center in Bangalore. So I stayed with them for around a year, and then I shifted to e-GMAT. And then this August, no, September, I wrote my final GMAT attempt.
Okay, so when you started off with the classroom program, how did you realize that the strategy that you were following then isn't working for you?
Yeah, so first of all, they were mainly focused on OG questions, and now I know that OG questions are the biggest scam. They're way too easy for the GMAT exam. So, so they taught only from OG questions, so you get nothing out of it, and the rules were very orthodox. So, and it wouldn't work for difficult questions. So my no matter how hard I studied with them for like a year, scores never improved because you only get easy questions right, and then the hard questions you have no idea what to do.
So you're taking basically the official mocks, and when your scores
Yeah,
stuck at a
correct.
certain
Official
point, you
mock.
realize that it's not working for you.
Yeah.
Then what did you do next? Then how did you evaluate that maybe e-GMAT is the right fit for you?
Yeah, so I was just searching our how do I reduce my time for RC passages because it used to be 12 minutes.
Okay.
So the classroom way of doing it was read every passage like it's a Facebook post. So you skim through the passage and then you go to the questions. You come back to the relevant location and then you read that again. So I used to take like 12 minutes there. So I was just YouTubing how to reduce this time. So I came across Pile's video of reducing the time. So she has an approach which is different. So I immediately applied that approach and I saw my time reduced to like 7 minutes.
We'll
So
talk
then I
about
decided
RC. We'll talk about RC
yeah.
in more detail later in the session. But one thing that you highlighted is that just skim through the passage on the first read. I think that is probably one of the biggest mistakes that students actually make. You
Mm.
infer as you read through it, and that is how you save time later on when you're solving the
Yeah.
exam questions, right? All right. So you started off your preparation with e-GMAT. How did you go about, you know, you had already spent about 6 months in your preparation. What did you do next on the e-GMAT platform?
Yeah, so I started off with SC course, and this course was different from what they taught in the previous organization. There it used to be they had rules saying if the word being is there in the option choice, just eliminate it directly. And there are more absurd rules
There's
like
no
that. But
no no logic to it. Basically, just
yeah, there was. I don't think we even tried to understand the meaning. It was just these rules are there. This is how the GMAT sets the paper, and then this is how you're supposed to do it. Here in e-GMAT, you focus 90% on meaning itself, and 10% you understand grammar. So this approach helped me reduce the time and I increase my accuracy. So that's what I learned and focused on.
so basically typical rule-based approach to the meaning-based approach kind of helped you
Yeah,
to improve your overall sentence correction
yeah.
course as well. One thing that I would actually like to highlight here is that even though you had spent about 6 months, or in fact more than that, going through or learning the foundation, learning the skills, you still
Hmm.
went through the entire SC course from scratch. There are a lot of
Yeah.
students who have that mental blockage that I have already spent so much of time building my abilities from XYZ resource. I don't need to do
Hmm.
that again. So it's time to,
Yeah.
it's always very important to take in the feedback. If the scores are not supporting your hypothesis, it's not the
Hmm.
right hypothesis, right? You have gaps and you have to take corrective actions as well. Don't go with
Yeah.
the simple intuition that I have spent so much of time, so I have to be good. Need not
Hmm.
be the case all the time. So after you were done with sentence correction, you then moved on to critical reasoning.
Yeah. In critical reasoning, in the previous organization, the approach was not. I don't think there was even an approach. It was just okay. What did the author assume here, and then they used their own faulty logic, and then they used to come up with the answers. But here, there's like a solid foundation where they teach you what an assumption means and what an inference is, and so those files where they taught what it is, that was enough for me. I didn't have to work that hard in CR, even though I didn't understand how, but whatever you guys thought, it was always at the back of my head, and then
Pre-thinking.
intuitively, yeah, pre-thinking. So you take 20 seconds off to like form what the question asks, what the author is, how the author is arriving at this conclusion. So that
Basically
solidifies the
visualizing the
story.
entire argument.
Yeah. So that makes the like, and then slowly, intuitively, you'll build the skill. So that's what happened here.
Right. And so after CR, you then move to reading comprehension as well, right? So
Hmm.
let's talk about RC, because you mentioned that at one point you were taking like as much as 12 minutes, right? And then it
Yeah.
got down to 7.5 minutes for a lengthy passage as well. So how did that improvement come? And more specifically, what did you change in your strategy for RC?
Yeah, so e-GMAT's technique is inverse the time. So spend more time on the passage, and then automatically you will spend lesser time on the questions. So I started spending 4 minutes in the passage, and I would infer all the information from each sentence. So one sentence as in plain sight will give you one meaning,
Hmm.
but then there are hidden 2, 3 meanings, and tricky questions will be asked from that. So I inferred all these meanings, and then I would take like 30 seconds to answer each question. So we'd come down to like 6 minutes or 7 minutes, and the time reduced.
Okay, okay. So after completing entire verbal section, I think you did a little bit of quant, right? But
Yeah,
not in detail, right?
yeah. I just did little bit of number properties,
Hmm.
and then I had to take a mandatory break because I contracted COVID,
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
and then even my family contracted COVID, so I had some things to do. So 2 months I just took off,
hmm, 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 hmm,
and then I came back, and then I wrote. I did a small revision, and then I wrote a verbal section test.
hmm.
And I was really annoyed at seeing like 21% in SC or some 30% in CR. So everything was like lost, whatever I had learned. So you lose touch of what you have learned.
So what did you do
So
next then after you?
yeah, so I sent a mail to DJ
Hmm,
asking how do I improve this, and I think instead of DJ, Atreya replied saying, just revise these things.
hmm,
But then I was pretty annoyed that I have to just go through the same course again, so I wrote an angry mail,
hmm,
and then DJ got back to me. So DJ told me, DJ got on a call, and then I asked him, DJ, should I just quit GMAT because I don't think this is for me. Should I just like jump to executive assessment or find some other ways to, get through it? So he said, okay, I'll give you like 3 days. You do these 3 exercises or revisions,
hmm,
and then we'll see whether your ability is lacking or just you just lost touch. So those 3 days he made me do the same files again,
hmm.
but um, selected files, whatever he thought I needed to do. So I did those 3 days, whatever course he made me do, even though it was annoying. And then I wrote my tests, and then the scores were again back up to like 80%, 70%, 75%. So yeah, I was able to recover back.
One very key learning here, that it can be annoying to revise. It can be counterintuitive as well, that you have already, spent so much of time going through those files once. Why should you do it
Mm.
again? And a lot of
Yeah.
students are actually of that opinion as well. What suggestion, or how would you respond to that now, given that you already did that?
Yeah, it does suck. They do have like a logical reason why they're getting annoyed, but That's the thing. The first time you go through the course, you would have attained, let's say, 70% of the knowledge. Oh, my bad. 1 second. Yeah, the first time you go through any of the verbal courses, you get like maybe 70% of the info that's that you remember and that becomes an habit. So when you go through it again, that remaining 30%, and it's very important to have that improvement mindset, saying, okay, I'm at V32 now. I have to find what I have to do to move to a V38. So you slowly find whatever things you missed the first time, and then you have to kind of do that. Otherwise, there's nothing else you can do to improve.
Absolutely. So that's a very important point that you mentioned, that the mindset has to be there, right? If the stats are suggesting that you are faltering because of conceptual gaps, then that is the fact. You have to take in a step back here and take the corrective actions to mitigate those gaps,
Yeah.
right? So you did the revision, and I think you then took the first GMAT as well.
Yeah, I decided I will take my GMAT, I think July end.
Hmm.
And I got so in the mock the day before the GMAT, I got a 680
Hmm.
with a V34 and Q47, I think. Yeah.
Hmm.
So in the actual GMAT, I got a 620. The verbal score was the same, again V34, but quant was bad because I messed up in algebra and geometry.
Hmm.
So uh, yeah, I had like 33 percentile there. So the scores went low there.
Right. So after you took the test, I think you got an ESR as well, right?
Correct. That's one thing. I took the offline thing because I knew my first attempt won't be enough and I have to have that ESR.
Hmm.
So I sent the ESR to the e-GMAT team. I think I sent it to DJ specifically. So he analyzed using the accuracy of each quarter
Hmm.
and the timing I took each quarter. And he said that to a great detail. He told me that I messed up the first RC, so I didn't have time to spend I didn't have enough time to spend on the remaining SC and CR question, and that's where the whole thing started crumbling. So that was really important because I thought, okay, maybe that's all verbal ability is there, but he made me understand that this was just bad luck because my first RC was humanities passage. It's like the worst kind of passages that you can get.
Fair
So
enough. Hmm.
I just told myself, okay, fine. Next time, obviously, luck won't be that bad. So I continued studying from there.
So one thing is that your score can actually get impacted for reasons beyond your ability as well. It's also about how you actually approach the exam.
Yeah.
If you're getting stuck for too long, for instance, on the very first RC
Hmm.
passage, then it's but natural for you to face time crunch towards the end, right?
Hmm.
And if those questions towards the end happen to be of SE and CR, you'll not be able to do
Hmm.
justice to those questions, and then your
Yeah.
accuracy and slash your ability will be impacted because of this time crunch. So here
Yeah.
the issue won't be with SE and CR, it would be specifically with ours. And there's a lot of information that you can drive out of ESR. And
Yeah.
folks watching out this video, if you need any help with understanding your ESRs, obviously you can reach out to us as well for that. Uh, your scores also dipped in the quant section, right? So what did DJ highlight about that? Because I'm sure that to an extent it sort of happened with quant section as well.
Yeah. So DJ recognized that, okay, first so 620 is where you are. So let's try to get your quant score to a V14, sorry, Q49. So he said, let's do algebra and geometry, and then let's revise all the other sections again. So I focused a lot on geometry and algebra, and yeah, like he said, I revised, and advanced topics was also really good in the quant section. So I never had a problem with probability or permutation and combinations. So that helped me increase my score in quant.
Right. All right. So you were then able to. So you started off with the quant section after taking the first attempt. Did
Yeah.
the entire course went through the process files,
Yeah.
etc. Follow the three-stage approach there as well, right? That after going through the learning modules, you did go through the cementing stage as well.
Yeah, correct. So
And
that's the place where you find out how good you are after the course, and then you understand, and then you improve again. So I did all that.
absolutely correct. So a lot of students, something that they do is, what they think is, they will do, or they will go through all the concepts at first in a bundle, and then they will focus on the cementing stage. What they miss
Hmm.
out on is, they miss out on the opportunity of improving then and there itself. So stage
Yeah.
two is something, or cementing is something that you do right after going through the learning modules, just to ensure
Hmm.
that whatever you have learned in the, while you were building the skills, you can actually apply all of that onto GMAT style medium and hard questions as well.
Yeah.
Because if it's not done at that point itself, then it becomes a little bit too late, and then you'll have to start off from scratch to figure out exactly why you're faltering.
Yeah. Instead of learning in the revision phase, might as well learn in the first stage and then save time,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
and save time, right? GMAT is a very time crucial thing as well, because getting a high score is not the end goal. The end goal is to
Yeah.
get a admit from a good B school, and there
Yeah.
comes the application deadline. So time is definitely is of an important element here. Uh, you also faltered in RC, right? RC and to an extent SC as well on the first attempt.
Hmm.
How did you improve there?
Yeah, so I think the main reason I faltered in RC was I just see humanities passage and then I just cringe. I don't want to, do this, but then you have to get through it, right? So the attitude was bad, and it sounds very, spiritual, no? But then you have to have a better attitude to like, go through the RC passage. So e-GMAT made me go through like articles from
Hmm.
I
Reading
think the New
strategies, basically.
Yorker, and yeah, all these magazine articles, and then like go through humanities type of passages. So I just kept getting more and more comfortable with the passage. So I wasn't frustrated when I saw a humanities passage in the final exam,
Hmm.
and my
Basically,
reading speed increased.
so basically, made yourself or trained yourself to become more comfortable with the passages that you never liked at all in the first place,
Correct. Yeah.
right? And that is also actually very important, because the more comfortable you become, the more confident you become. When
Yeah.
that happens, right, as you very correctly pointed out, that the attitude needs to be in place. So
Hmm.
with confidence comes the right attitude as well. So
Yeah.
general reading is also something that helps a lot with RC passages too.
Yeah.
uh, and how did you improve on the sentence correction as well?
Uh, yeah, sentence correction. Like I said, DJ made me do a lot of those process files or GMAT skill files. I don't know the name exactly.
Application files.
These, yeah, application files. So I'd do them on my own, and then I'd see how the instructor is doing, or Payal, I guess. Yeah,
Mhm.
and then I'd see what are the differences, where she's saving time, where I am not saving time. And then one thing that DG told me was, don't try to keep the process too perfect during the exam. While you're learning, the process can be perfect,
Hmm.
but during the exam, it's basically you have to have a mindset where you're eliminating stuff. That's how you quickly get to the answer.
Hmm.
So that saved a lot of time for me, and yeah, it
So
helped.
basically, in essence, you again went back to the course, you revised the application and the practice files, right? And this must
Yeah,
have
I
been your
revised.
third or second or third
Yeah,
time
third
that
third revision.
third revision. And
Yeah,
yet you were able to drive value out of it.
yeah.
So revision is definitely something that, I mean, if you're faltering, you will have to go back to the course, and you can drive a lot of value out of the application files, specifically application files, because the way the solutions are developed, they can help you
Hmm.
understand exactly in which step of the process you are faltering or taking longer, and figure out the ways to
Yeah,
improve on both the fronts, right? Accuracy as well as the time. So
yeah.
never be averse of having a second or third revision. It definitely does help.
Yeah. So one place where I saw this improvement was the comma, verb, ing,
Modifiers.
yeah, modifiers. The way I checked them kept getting faster this after the second revision and then the third revision. So I just check by the third revision, I just check, okay, does the subject make sense with this, and then just eliminate it fast. So you just get better and better with every single step with each revision.
So after you were done with the quant modules, revision of the verbal section as well, I think you then took a mock as well, right?
Yeah, I took a mock and then I got a 710, I believe. Yeah, in the e-GMAT course.
710, I think it was V37Q49, right? Somewhere around that.
Yeah, something around that. Yeah.
And I think that was when you decided to take the test as well.
Yeah, I could tell, I was just so done with this process because it's been 2 years, right?
Right.
So I was like, I need to take the quiz before I lose my form.
And you went ahead, took GMAT, scored V38, Q48. So pretty much within the point, right? And
Yeah.
SigmaX mock kind of predicted that score as well. And you scored
Yeah, correct.
within 10 points of that range.
Hmm.
Okay, so towards the end, I would like to understand from you that if there are any tips or anything that you would like to share with future test takers.
Yeah. So I wrote a couple of things down because I was just thinking about this yesterday. So first of all, the YouTube videos I think really help because you get to know that people are messing up a lot and still they're able to reach 700. So I would
The
say
motivation,
anytime
right?
you feel, yeah, it's really good motivation. So I used to walk around the apartment listening to each debrief where
So
this
you're talking
person
about
messed
the
up and
such video interviews that are there on
correct.
our e-GMAT channel. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So you understand that they are not some state toppers who are getting these 700s. There are also people who are messing up and then getting it. So learn whatever you can from everyone's interview because I'm pretty sure everyone's giving their own genuine reasons why they messed up, how they improved, etc. And take the in-center GMAT because you need your ESR. That really helps bump your score next. Uh, because I thought I messed up in CR in the first test, but turns out CR was my strongest point.
Right.
So I wouldn't have known that if it was GMAT online.
And you didn't even put in whole lot of effort when you were working on the improvement plan as well, because you already knew that CR is your strength.
Yeah. And then, priming. There's like a warm-up exercise that e-GMAT gives before you go to the test. So do that because it puts you in that zone. You have to be in like a state of flow when you're taking this exam because they hardly give you any time.
Absolutely.
Extra time to do any questions. So in my final attempt, I got 50% in all the priming exercises or the warm-up exercises. So I was able to get rid of whatever bad habits I had in the warm-up exercise. And then when I was in the center, I was already in the zone and then obviously I got better scores. So I would suggest everyone does the priming before they go.
So how did you do that? How did you warm up yourself?
Yeah, you just do like two questions in SC, two in CR, one RC passage, and the same goes in quant, two in each section, and then just analyze where you messed up, and then go about it again, and then change your approach. Okay, I'm feeling a little lazy today. I have to be more attentive. So it depends on your mood as well, right? The way you answer these questions.
So basically, you take very short courses for both SC and CR. What it does is kind of gets your brain churning a little bit, and that in a way helps you get rid of that initial inertia during the actual exam, so that when you see the first question, it's actually not the first question for you. You have already solved 5 or 6, maybe a little bit more number of questions already, and right from the very first question you are at your 100% there, which in turn definitely helps you get a better score in turn. Okay,
And
Max.
last one is don't think you messed up the other section and then not give you 100% in the second section. So that was one problem I had in the first exam. So I thought, okay, verbal is anyway not good enough. What is the point of trying in quant? So give you 100% regardless.
So
You
very
never know.
rightly said, right? That maybe live one question at a time. Whatever question you're doing, just think
Yeah,
about that. Don't think about what
mm,
all you have done. Even in the verbal section, if you're solving an essay question, don't think about the last CR question that you've already done. That's gone. You cannot change that.
yeah,
Stop focusing on that if you're doing that. So, and again, same thing goes for the quant as well. If that is the second section you attempted, then give 100% to each and every question. You don't know how you're doing. In a nutshell,
mm,
stop analyzing the quiz or the exam when you're taking the exam. Do all of
yeah,
that after you are out of the center or once you're done with the exam. That's when you can analyze it. It's fine. You can take down notes as well after that. But don't do that when you're actually taking the exam.
yeah.
Okay, Raj, with that, we come to the end of the session. Thanks a lot for joining in and sharing your insights as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Achal.